Y'all, I just thought about something. For so many years, I worked with youth. Started at Yale Child Study Center in the summer of 2003. It was the summer before I started my senior year at Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut, and I was studying psychology. I knew I wanted to work with families, so I went to Yale Child Study Center for a summer internship. Did a lot of research, watched a lot of videos of counseling. Essentially, a lot of the counseling that supported the book and modality or evidence-based practice of trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. And I've worked with youth since that point. And prior to that point, I was working with youth. But what I'm noticing is, and I'm not saying this to be facetious or mean, but it really is a realization. And I knew it for a while, but it's just something that just like, boop, popped up in my spirit for a second. Is that your age really doesn't determine your maturity level. I realized after so many years of working with people of all ages, because I've worked with families, that there are a lot of people, whether it's due to trauma or substance use, that really stop developing and maturing mentally and emotionally. And there are some young people I've met who actually are more mature than the grown folks, and the people who are 18, 28, 38, 48, 58 years old. Now, I prefer to work with adults, but age doesn't always determine wisdom, nor the ability or the skill set to regulate one's emotions or to master one's emotions. So I find it interesting when people make determinations only based on age. Now, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with playfulness, because I believe in balance of life. So that means there's a certain level of youthfulness that maintains the freshness and the joy and the contentment within life. And youth are known for remaining in the moment. So it's almost kind of like, you ever watch kids when they're like toddlers, like 2 years old, and they're playing in the sandbox, and they're like, "Mommy, Joey just ripped my hair out of my skull." And then they just like, "Joey, Jamie, are y'all gonna get along?" And then if you just leave them alone, like in a matter of 2 minutes, they forgot about what happened, and they both playing in the sandbox again, and Jamie got a patch of hair missing. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that Joey should have ripped a patch of hair out of her head, but all I'm saying is that there's something to be said about kids and their ability to remain in the moment and actually forgive and let live and let go and move on quickly, that we can learn from. And that's I would say a skill set or a trait that helps people to remain youthful, because it's like clearing our heart, because forgiveness only destroys the person whom is holding on to the baggage. So bitterness doesn't look good on anybody. But at the same time, what I will say is that there's a certain level of playfulness that assists with maintaining vitality with consideration of life. But with everything, there's literally a balance. And there are lines of demarcation which assist with knowing what is enough and then when it's too far. Mm-hmm. So, I'm just glad that I'm living a life where I'm always working to focus on the moment, yet understand the balance of healthy boundaries and psychological and emotional maturity, as well as playfulness when in the appropriate context. So, we gonna live and let live, and hopefully people learn lessons as we continue on, because I can tell you my entire life up to these 43 years and June, July, August 26 made 43 years and 3 months. Somebody to say that I've learned a decent number of lessons, and I'm making sure that I implement each and every one of the lessons that I've learned on a daily basis and just continue to build upon, because that is where wisdom is. And I'm working on my sage badge. I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna be a sage. I'm gonna be somebody's big mama I'm gonna be somebody's big mama. I'm just joking. Because in the country, big mama's the woman that's the matriarch, and everybody in the family is gonna speak to her if there's a situation or a concern. It was kind of like the medicine doctor of the day, with consideration of different tribes ancestrally, and also within Africa, and also here in the United States amongst the indigenous people, Native Americans. So just something we said about having the spiritual ability to navigate life, and also the practical, commonsensical ability to understand that life is a journey, and we are all working to do the very best that we could. And hopefully, as we journey through life, we will learn as much as we possibly can about ourselves, about how our relationships work, about how the world revolves, and what our purpose is within. So here's to a happy Friday, and y'all enjoy your weekend.